Cancorla, this year, FÁS registered 6,000 fewer apprentices than it did 2 years ago. And next year the situation is going to be worse. The number of apprentices in construction is going to be down from 4,500 to 1,000. The number of apprentices in the electrical trades is going to be down from 2,500 to 1,000. Now, it's been hard at the best of times for a young man or woman in this country to get an apprenticeship. It's going to be harder next year, and we also have the situation that a lot of people who are currently in apprenticeships are being told that they're not going to be able to finish because of the downturn in the economy. Now, apprenticeship, Taoiseach, is the core business of FÁS. And I think that today, a lot of young people who can't get an apprenticeship or who are in an apprenticeship that they can't finish are going to ask themselves, what on earth were the top brass in FÁS doing overlooking at the National Space Centre in Florida? I mean, do we have apprentice astronauts or something? Or were they in the nail bar trying to register apprentices for carpentry and Taoiseach, I don't think that you have any sense of the public anger that there is at the lavish extravagance and the splurging of taxpayers' money which was involved here. Nor indeed do I think that you have any sense of the very significant unease that I think that this whole episode has caused for the vast majority of public servants who work conscientiously and for whom this type of carry-on is exposing them to being scapegoated and to being ridiculed. Now, you're a former Minister for Labour, Taoiseach, and you know, there are a few people in this House who I think have the understanding as a consequence that you have of the relationship between FÁS and the parent department and parent minister. So I want to ask you, first of all, are you going to deal with what we have heard over the last 2 days with some urgency? I don't think it's acceptable that it is, you know, that some process and it's all going to disappear into the ether again. There's a lot of anger about this, and I think we need to see and hear from government what action is going to be taken in relation to it. And would you agree with me that FÁS and its top executives would be serving this country better in dealing with what is now a growing crisis in apprenticeship in this country? Because if we don't register apprenticeships now, we won't have the trades in 4 years' time when hopefully we will be through the economic difficulties that we now have. And wouldn't they be better dealing with the problems of apprenticeship here rather than gallivanting around the world at the taxpayer's expense?
Can
I ask the Taoiseach if he has made any inquiries, or if he is making any inquiries, as to whether this type of carry-on is going on anywhere else in state agencies or across the public sector? I mean, this type of behaviour where you have board members and top executives of state bodies behaving like latter-day Borgias at the taxpayer's expense, is this happening anywhere else? I think in fairness to state agencies generally, to the people who work in them, to the people who head them up, I think that you know, there should be an inquiry of some kind ordered by you as to whether this type of carry-on is going on anywhere else. And I would like you to state here in the House now, it's all very well to say, you know, that you're waiting for the CNAG report. I would like you to state clearly here in the House. You read what went on in FÁS. You've heard the reports yesterday. You heard the explanation given by the Chief Executive of FÁS for the airfares and all of the various other expenses that were clocked up. Do you think it was excessive? Do you think it was? Do you think? I mean, leave aside the issue of whether there were rules broken or whether the regulations were transgressed or whatever. Do you think it's excessive to do the kind of junketeering at the level that it was conducted and that we've seen in FÁS, where expenses for what I think pretty well everybody in this House would agree are things that, you know, if you incur them, you take them out of the bill before you put in the receipt with your expense claim. You certainly don't charge up some of these items to the taxpayer. Do you think it was excessive?
Taoiseach.